Hello, this is Yvonne Nelson, and it's time to start coding. We're going to do that by starting with what's called Hello World. I've opened Visual Studio, and as you can see, I have a big start page. But we can ignore the start page, and then we have a whole lot of nothing. So it's time to make a project. Up in the upper left-hand corner, I select File, and then New, and then Project. Now I get the New Project dialog, and I want to make sure that I have Visual C++ selected because if you start a project in another language, you might not notice, and sometimes it can be a little bit of an unpleasant surprise. So here's Visual C++, and I'm going to select Empty Project. I'm going to call it Hello World, and I'm going to put it on the desktop. It's already set for the desktop. Okay. Now Visual Studio will create the project and put a folder on the desktop for you. This part right here, the Solution Explorer, describes your project, and you will get one for every project that you make. Hello World is the project, and this top one right here is the solution. We are usually operating from the project. So you can either right-click on Project and go to Add New Item, or if you wish, you can go up to the toolbar at the top and click Project and go down to Properties. Either way, you get to the same dialog called the Property Pages, because we need to finish making our project. We're going to go down to Linker and then System. And up here it says we have no subsystem, but the one we want is a console system. We want to make a console application. That means one here on this either laptop or desktop computer. Okay, so once we've done that, our project is ready to go, but we still have no files. So we're going to create a file. Right-click on Source Files, Add New Item, and we're going to select a CPP file. Yes, that's a C++ file, and it's a file that we're going to be coding in. We'll go down to the bottom and we'll change the name to driver. A driver is one of the common names for the main file in your project where everything kind of gets started. Another way to start to get a new file, I believe you can still do this, is Project, Add New Item, and see you get exactly the same dialog. So right-clicking on things in your project and selecting them through the toolbar project yields a lot of the same information. We're going to start by making some comments. One-line comments are 2 forward slashes, and I'm going to put my name and my address and my email. And comments will turn green. That's a pretty typical color code for comments in programming. The next comment I'm going to make a block comment so we can practice them. And that is a forward slash and an asterisk. And you see that it allows me to type in the middle. So this is going to be called Project Hello World. And I'm going to, it's going to be called my first program. You want to put down kind of why you're doing things because, there we go. Because when you go back and look at your programs sometimes, believe me, 6 months or a year, you won't be quite so sure what you were doing. Okay, so I'm going to skip a line now, and I'm going to put an asterisk in there just to neaten it up. You don't have to. And then I'm going to write my file name, which is going to be driver.cpp. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Let's go back. All right. So there's comments at the top. I wouldn't necessarily do it this way on a regular project, but just to show you both types of comments. Okay, you could do it all in one big block comment, or you could do them all with double forward slashes. It doesn't really matter. So now here's where our code is going to go. We're going to write int main, and we're going to add two, we call them curly braces. Main is the name of our main function. The parentheses are going to tell you that this is a function. If you were going to pass information into the function, which we'll learn how to do later on in chapter 4, then it would go right in here. This int is the return of the function. Not all functions return a value, but main does. And what it's going to return is a number that says whether it completed satisfactorily or not. So we're going to assume we did, and we're going to write return 0, and that's going to be our last line in the program. Actually, we are writing this program on a very powerful IDE, Integrated Development Environment. But if you were working on a Linux box or in some other environment, you could possibly go over here and pass information into main. People do. We won't be doing that, however. Okay, so all we want to do in our Hello World program is write Hello World to the screen. The way that we write information to the screen is using something called cout. Oh dear, I have red squigglies. And it says that cout is unidentified. Well, that's because I need to include, so pound include a library, IOStream. IOStream contains all of our input and output that we use for the console, the monitor, and the keyboard. In addition, we're going to add using namespace standard. And that means that we're going to use some the standard data type names, the names that are in this IOStream library. Cout is a pre-made object that we're going to use. See this pound sign? Pound include is what's called a preprocessor directive, because the project is going to have to do that before it starts processing your program. Otherwise, it won't know how to handle the commands like cout. Okay, after cout, I'm going to put two backward-facing arrows. Those are the stream operators that say, write this on the monitor. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is write hello world. And the way I'm going to write it is in double quotes. And I'll try to type a little better than that. There we go. And double quotes, putting text inside double quotes gives us what we call a string literal. That means whatever is inside those double quotes will show up on the screen. In addition, oh, see, look, I have squigglies here at return. It says it expects a semicolon. Just about every line that you write in C++ is punctuated with the semicolon. We don't use periods, we use semicolons. Okay, so now I think I just about have it. And let's see what this is going to look like. I'm going to select debug, Start without debugging. If you like hotkeys, use Control F5. And here it is, Hello World, up way up at the top, and then it says press any key to continue. All right, well, I would like it to look a little better than that, so I'm going to write \n and a space. \n is what's called an escape character. The backslash is escape. The n means to go to a new line. So ordinarily, if I didn't put the backslash in here, it would simply print n. But the backslash tells the compiler that this is not a string literal. It is escaped from its original meaning, and what it means is go to the next line. And I'm going to add a couple more of them at the end because it makes me happy to see things formatted a little better. So now let's see what we're going to get. All right, so now Hello World is down a line. It's over a space because I did add a space, and pressing a key to continue is 2 lines down. And so I've made it a little bit more presentable. And that is your Hello World app. We're going to go over this, or depending on when you look at this video, we will have gone over this in class, but if you don't remember it all, then you are welcome to come and look at the video whenever you need to. Bye now.